In the deep cold of space, far from any known star, a small scavenger ship drifted quietly. Inside, a lone human named Cole sat at the controls, watching his sensors. He was looking for scrap old wrecks, lost cargo, anything he could sell for. Fuel or food. Suddenly, a sharp beep echoed in the cockpit. His sensors picked up something, a crashed ship on a dead rocky moon nearby. The signal was weak, but clear. Finally, Cole whispered to himself, "Let's see what we've got." He landed his small ship on the gray surface of the moon. The wreck before him was alien twisted metal, strange symbols, and pieces of tech he didn't recognize. The ship looked like it had been shot down, its hull blackened and torn apart. Cole walked carefully inside, flashlight in hand. The air was thin, but his suit kept him alive. As he moved deeper, he noticed something odd: chains, cages, and prison cells. This was a prison ship, he muttered. Then he heard it. A faint sound like breathing, weak but alive. He followed the sound to a dark corner where a single cell door stood locked. Inside the cell, sitting against the wall, was a girl. Her skin was a soft silver blue, and her hair was dark like midnight. Strange glowing patterns ran along her arms and neck like veins of light. Her eyes, when they opened, glowed faintly violet. She looked up slowly, her voice hoarse. "Human. Leave. Don't open the cell." Cole raised an eyebrow. "You're alive. That's a surprise. Most of this place is dead." She shook her head weakly. "I'm not safe. I'm dangerous. My captors knew that. That's why they kept me locked away. Don't open this door." Cole chuckled dryly. "Yeah? Dangerous how?" "You're barely able to speak." The girl's eyes locked on his. "Because if I bite you, you'll die." Her warning hung in the cold air. Cole stared at her, uncertain whether to laugh or worry. But something in her voice wasn't a threat, it was sadness. Still, he looked at her condition: starving, weak, barely conscious. He couldn't just leave her here to die. "I've heard worse threats," Cole said with a grin. He pulled out his plasma cutter and began slicing the lock. She panicked, pressing against the wall. "No, don't. I can't control it. My bite kills." The lock sparked and fell apart. The cell door creaked open. Cole stepped closer, offering his hand. "Come on, you'll die here alone." But the girl suddenly lunged. She was faster than. She looked. Her teeth sank into his arm. He cried out in shock, falling back, watching her pull away, horrified. Her eyes went wide. She stared at him in disbelief. You're still alive." Cole sat up, rubbing his arm. The bite hurt. But he wasn't dead. No dizziness, no poison, no numbness. What the hell was that for? He snapped. She backed away, trembling. "You're not supposed to survive. No alien survives my bite. It's deadly to all species." Cole looked at his arm, then at her. "Guess humans are just built different." She didn't answer. She was still shaking, unable to understand. She whispered softly, almost to herself, "How is this possible?" Cole stood and offered his hand again, this time more careful. "I'm Cole. What's your name?" After a pause, she whispered, "Vesha." "Well, Vesha, I'm not dead. And you need help, so come on, let's get out of here." Slowly, carefully, she reached for his hand. When their skin touched, nothing happened. No pain, no sickness. She was still staring at him, confused, but she followed him out of the wreck, outside. Under the stars, Vesha blinked at the open sky. She hadn't seen it in years. Cole helped her into his ship, gave her water, and some food. She ate slowly, her body weak. "Who kept you prisoner?" he asked. Vesha looked down. "Slavers, they wanted to use me. My bite is a curse. It kills every alien who touches me. So they kept me caged, hoping to use me as a weapon." "But it didn't kill me," Cole said. She looked at him with her glowing eyes, still full of wonder. "No, it didn't, and I don't know why." "Cole." sat back in his chair, thinking. A human immune system was tough, but this. Something strange was going on. But before he could ask more, his ship's sensors beeped another signal. Vesha's eyes turned sharp. They're coming. They'll never let me go. They'll kill you to get me back. Cole smiled slightly. Then we better get moving. As the ship's engines roared to life, Cole had no idea that saving this one girl would pull him into a fight bigger than he ever imagined. And deep inside, Vesha knew something even darker. If he survived her bite, it meant their fates were now tied forever. Asterisk shook slightly as Cole pushed the engines to full power. They broke free of the dead moon's gravity, but Vesha wasn't looking at the stars. She stared only at Cole, her eyes still glowing. Faint violet, her expression a mix of fear and confusion. Why did you really free me? She asked quietly. You heard what I said. You should have left me to rot. Cole glanced at her from the pilot's seat, smirking. Because I hate slavers. And because I don't believe in curses. But Vesha shook her head. It's not a curse, it's real. My body is lethal to all alien species. My captors tested it. Hundreds died just from my touch. That's why they called me a weapon. She pulled up her sleeve, revealing faint mark scars from chains and restraints. I was bred in a lab, raised for one purpose. Bite the enemy, let them die screaming. But when I bit you... Her voice trailed off. She couldn't finish the sentence. She simply stared at his arm, where the bite marks remained, but the skin was already healing. Maybe I'm just lucky, Cole said lightly. But deep down, even he was uneasy. No alien poison, no effect. What made him different? Before he could ponder more, the ship's warning lights flashed red. Incoming ship detected. Vesha's face paled. It's them. They found us. Cole checked the scanner. A massive vessel was approaching fast, a slaver warship, bristling with cannons. Weapons ready? He muttered. Vesha shook her head. You can't fight them. They'll blast us apart and take me. They always win. But Cole grinned. Maybe you don't know humans that well. He pulled the ship into a sharp dive, weaving between asteroids floating nearby. The slaver ship opened fire, plasma bolts, scorching past them. Cole's hands danced across the controls, flying recklessly but with precision. Inside the ship, Vesha held onto her seat, staring at Cole, not with fear, but awe. No alien would dare fly like this, she said under her breath. They dodged another shot, slipping behind a thick asteroid. Cole switched off the main engine to hide their heat signature. The slaver ship circled the field, searching in the quiet. Vesha spoke again. I wasn't lying, Cole. If my bite doesn't kill you, that means something else. He looked at her, raising an eyebrow. What else? She hesitated, then whispered, my bite kills, unless the person is my genetic match. My people evolved that way to avoid bonding with outsiders. But if someone survives... it means we're linked. Like bonded mates. Cole stared, silent for a moment. You're saying, because I survived, we're, what, soulmates? Vesha nodded faintly. Something like that. But I never believed it was possible. Not with a human. Before Cole could respond, the slaver ship's scanners passed near again. We need to move, Cole said, reigniting the engines. We'll deal with whatever this is later. As the ship sped away, Vesha sat back, still processing. She had spent her life thinking no one could survive her. Yet here was Cole, a human alive, unafraid, and somehow... connected to her. But deep inside, a strange warmth began to grow. She could feel it, not just in her mind, but in her body. A bond had been formed. And there was no going back. The stars outside the cockpit blurred as Cole's ship jumped into hyperspace. But even the vastness of space couldn't calm the tension inside. Vesha sat silently in the co-pilot seat, her hands tightly gripping her knees. The truth of her bite, the bond, the connection still echoed between them like a secret neither wanted to admit aloud. Cole broke the silence first. So what does this bond even mean? Are we stuck together now or what? Vesha didn't meet. His eyes, I don't know, human. It was never supposed to happen. No one ever survived. Cole shrugged. There's a first time for everything. But before she could respond, the ship's alarms screamed to life. Cole checked the radar, and his stomach dropped. They're back, 2 ships this time. The slavers weren't just tracking them, they were hunting them. The incoming ships were faster and armed with better tech. Cole knew his small scavenger craft couldn't outfight them in open space. Vesha's voice was soft but urgent. You should have left me, Cole. You still can. Jettison me in an escape pod. They'll stop chasing you. Cole gave her a sideways glance, half smiling. You bit me, remember? That makes us partners. I don't ditch partners. His joke didn't ease her worry, but a flicker of something warm crossed her face. Still, the threat was real. Cole swerved the ship hard, diving into a nearby asteroid belt. Massive rocks drifted lazily through space, but they could offer cover if. He didn't crash first. The slaver ships followed, lasers firing, turning the asteroids into debris fields. Cole's hands flew over the controls, twisting the ship between rocks, dodging blasts by inches. Vesha watched in amazement. No pilot she had ever seen, human or alien, flew like this. He wasn't just skilled. He was reckless, fearless. You're insane, she whispered. Cole grinned. Yeah, but I'm still alive. Suddenly the ship shuddered. A blast clipped their rear engine. Red lights flashed across the dashboard. Engines hit, Cole muttered. Can't outrun them now. Vesha stood up, her eyes glowing brighter than before. She placed a hand on Cole's shoulder. Then let me help. What, are you gonna bite them through the radio? But she shook her head. My bite, it's not the only thing. The bond between us, it's waking up. I can feel you. I can boost you. Let me try. She pressed her other hand to his temple. A strange warmth surged through Cole, like fire in his veins. His senses sharpened, reflexes faster, vision clearer. He blinked, then smiled. Now that's a hell of a co-pilot. The slavers closed in, but Cole was different now. Every move felt easy, every calculation instinctive. He flipped the ship between spinning rocks, leading one of the slaver ships into a collision with an asteroid. One down. The second slaver ship fired, but Cole was ready. With a quick dive and a boost from Vesha's connection, he dodged the blasts and looped behind the enemy ship. With precise shots from his small but powerful railguns, he tore through its engines. Both ships gone. The radar was clear, breathing. Heavily, Cole slowed the ship. He turned to Vesha, her hand still on his temple, her eyes dimming, exhausted. What the hell was that? Vesha smiled faintly. The bond. I shared my strength with you. It's not much yet, but it's saved. U.S. Cole stared at her, realizing something. He wasn't just connected to her by accident. This bond was real, alive and growing stronger. And if it gave him this much of an edge, what else could it do? But before he could ask, Vesha whispered. One final warning before she collapsed into the seat, drained. They won't stop, Cole. The slavers. They're coming, with more stronger ones. And if they find us, they'll kill you, and I'll be theirs again. Cole stared out at the stars, jaw tight. Then let them come, he muttered. I'm not done yet. Asterisk, the ship drifted quietly in deep space, engines cooling, stars distant and cold. Inside the cockpit, Cole watched Vesha as she slept in the co-pilot's chair. She had passed out after their narrow escape, her body too weak to stay awake. Cole rubbed the spot where she had bitten him. The marks had faded, but something deeper had taken root inside him. He didn't understand it, but he could feel it, a connection. A thread between them, alive and buzzing beneath his skin. Hours passed before Vesha stirred awake. She groaned softly, sitting up slowly. "We made it?" she asked weakly. Cole smiled. "Barely. You passed out after that stunt you pulled. Sharing your strength or whatever that was." She nodded slowly, her expression distant, thoughtful. "That's the bond," she whispered. "It's real. I can feel it now too, like your pulse, your energy. I never thought it could happen." Cole leaned forward. "You said your bite kills unless someone's your genetic match. What does that actually mean? What are you saying? That I'm supposed to be your mate?" Vesha looked away, shame in her eyes. "It's not supposed to happen. My people... We were designed, engineered as living weapons. My bite delivers a toxin that kills any living creature except one, my genetic counterpart, my... destined mate. But that was supposed to be a myth. A failsafe in our blood that no one believed in anymore." She looked up at him, her violet eyes shining with uncertainty. "But you survived. That means... The bond is forming between us, whether we want it or not." Cole shook his head, sitting back. "You're telling me I'm basically married to you because of a bite?" Vesha laughed softly, bitterly. "Not married, but linked. The bond will grow stronger over time. Your body is already changing. I can feel it. Your reflexes, your strength. They'll improve, but the price is... if one of us dies, the other dies too." That hit Cole like a punch to the gut. "You're kidding." She shook her head solemnly. "It's life or death. We're connected now permanently. I can't break it, and neither can you." Silence hung heavy between them. Cole tried to process it, but there was no room for anger. It wasn't her fault, it was just fate, or bad luck. But then, his console beeped, a proximity alert. "What now?" he muttered, checking the scanner. His heart sank. A much larger ship had just warped in, massive, heavily armed, and broadcasting. One clear message on all frequencies: return the asset or be destroyed. Vesha stood shakily, staring at the screen. "That's them. The main slaver ship. If they've sent that, they won't stop until I'm back in a cage." Cole stared at the scanner, jaw tight. "We can't outrun them. But maybe we can outfight them." Vesha's eyes widened. "Against that, we'll be dust." But Cole smiled darkly. "Not if this bond of ours has more to give. You said it'll grow, right? Time to test it." Vesha looked uncertain but stepped forward. She pressed her hands on his shoulders again, closing her eyes. "Focus on me. Trust me," she whispered. Cole felt it instantly, a wave of energy rushing through his body, like his blood was on fire, like his senses were sharper than ever. His vision cleared, his mind focused, his strength felt... alien, enhanced. The slaver ship fired, but Cole was already moving, twisting the ship through space with impossible precision. The bond between him and Vesha hummed, alive and pulsing. "Let's see if I can surprise them," he muttered. But Vesha had a terrible feeling. The slaver captain wasn't just coming to retrieve her. There was something else. "Cole... double quote," she whispered. "There's something I didn't tell you. I'm not the only one. They made others. Stronger than me. If they catch us... they'll use them, and nothing will survive." Cole glanced at her, determination in his eyes. "Then we don't let them catch us." As the slaver ship closed in, Vesha realized that for the first time in her life, she wasn't just running. She was standing with someone who wouldn't abandon her. And deep inside, she knew the bond between them was just beginning to awaken. The ship groaned under pressure as Cole pushed it faster, skimming the edge of a dense gas nebula. The slaver ship followed, relentless, its heavy cannons lighting up the darkness like distant thunderstorms. Inside the cockpit, Vesha stood behind Cole, her hands trembling not from fear, but from the strange energy that surged between them. She could feel it more now, the bond growing, connecting her heartbeat to his. She didn't know whether it was beautiful or terrifying. "They're catching up," she whispered. "You can't outrun them forever." Cole's eyes remained locked on the controls. "I'm not trying to outrun them. I'm luring them," Vesha frowned. "Luring them where?" Cole tapped the screen, showing a massive, unstable gravity well ahead. A collapsing dwarf star. Deadly to anyone foolish enough to get too close. "Into a trap," Cole said with a grin. "But I'll need more of your help." Vesha hesitated. She had felt it once, the way the bond let her pour her strength into him, but doing it again, willingly, deeper, it meant tying herself closer to a human she barely knew. Yet ... He had risked everything for her. She stepped forward, placing her palms on his temples once more. "Then take what you need," she said softly. The moment their skin touched, the connection roared awake. Cole gasped, visions, sensations, reflexes all amplifying within him. His muscles responded faster, his mind clearer, his reactions inhumanly sharp. He dodged plasma blasts like they moved in slow motion. The ship swerved through debris fields and radiation storms, Cole navigating like he'd flown these paths all his life. Vesha's breathing grew heavy, but she stayed connected. She felt everything, his focus, his heartbeat, his excitement. She wasn't just lending power. She was inside his mind. "You're enjoying this," she whispered with a shaky laugh. Cole smirked. "A little. I've never felt this alive." Behind them, the slaver ship pushed harder, unwilling to lose them. The captain inside snarled in frustration, barking orders. He had heard the legends. If the human survived her bite, then the bond was forming. If they didn't capture her soon, she'd be unstoppable with him. But Cole wasn't done. As he approached the gravity well, he pulled the ship into a sharp spin, diving dangerously close to the collapsing star's pole. Alarms screamed, but Cole stayed focused, the bond feeding him every instinct he needed to survive. The slaver ship wasn't so lucky. Caught in the gravity's edge, its engines strained, trying to compensate. Cole timed it perfectly, firing a torpedo not at the ship, but at a nearby asteroid, sending it crashing into the enemy vessel's weakened shields. The slaver ship lurched, spinning helplessly, caught in the star's pull. Vesha's eyes widened. "You're going to kill them all ... Cole's face hardened. "They'd do worse to you. I'm ending it." With a final blast, the slaver ship broke apart, consumed by the gravitational force, vanishing in the swirling fire of the dying star. Silence fell. The ship's alarms faded. The danger passed. Vesha stumbled, weak, collapsing into the co-pilot's chair. Cole turned, catching his breath, the energy from the bond slowly fading. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded weakly. "I didn't think the bond could make you that strong. I felt everything. Your mind, your body, it was like I was ... inside you." Cole chuckled lightly. "That's one way to get to know each other." Vesha smiled faintly, but then her face turned serious. "There will be more, Cole. The slavers won't stop. They have others like me, stronger, deadlier. And now that we're bonded, they'll hunt us even harder." Cole stood, looking out at the endless stars. "Then we'll get stronger too. I'm not running anymore, Vesha. I've got your back." She looked at him, this reckless, stubborn human who had survived her curse, fought for her, and now shared her fate. For the first time in her life, Vesha felt something she never thought possible. She wasn't a weapon anymore. She was someone's partner, and deep within the bond, something stirred, something yet fully awakened. The real power between them was still sleeping. For days, Cole's ship drifted through deep space, hiding in the shadow of a dead planet, its engines dark to avoid detection. Cole was outside, repairing the hull, while Vesha sat inside, staring at her hands. She could still feel the bond humming beneath her skin, a thread connecting her life to his, But there was something else, something growing. Suddenly, Cole's voice crackled through the cums. "We've got company." Vesha jumped to her feet. She rushed to the cockpit, eyes darting to the radar. A ship had appeared, no, multiple ships. And these weren't like before. Sleeker, faster, colder. At the center of the formation was a black ship, unlike any Vesha had seen. She recognized the markings, though, the symbol of the prime slaver, the mastermind behind her captivity. "That's him," she whispered. "The one who made me. The one who made us." Cole stepped inside, wiping sweat from his brow. "Looks like they brought the whole family." But Vesha's face was pale. "You don't understand. On that ship, they have others like me, my siblings. They're faster, stronger, deadlier, and they're trained to kill." Cole loaded his plasma rifle, eyes sharp. "Then it's a family reunion. And I'm not leaving without ending this." Before Vesha could protest, a transmission lit up their screen. The face of the prime slaver appeared, a cold, gray-skinned alien with deep scars and burning red eyes. "Return my property, human," the voice rasped, "or I'll tear your ship apart and take what's mine." Cole leaned forward. "Sorry, but she's not property anymore. Come get her yourself." The connection cut. Vesha turned to Cole, heart pounding. "You don't have to do this. You could run, leave me, and they'll spare you." But Cole shook his head. "We're bonded, remember? If they kill you, I'm dead anyway. And besides, I'm not the running type." Vesha stared at him, warmth blooming in her chest despite the danger. No one had ever stood for her, not like this. "Then let's end it," she whispered. Moments later, the enemy ship surrounded them. Boarding hooks slammed into the hull, and Cole grabbed his rifle. Vesha stood beside him, her hands glowing faintly, her body ready, the bond pulsing stronger. Airlock burst open. In stormed 3 figures taller, sleeker versions of Vesha, their eyes glowing blue. They moved like predators, silent and deadly. Their leader stepped forward, staring at Vesha. "Sister, come home or die." But Vesha stepped closer to Cole. "I have a home now, and I'm done being a weapon." The fight exploded. The siblings lunged, fast as lightning. Cole fired, but they dodged effortlessly. One slammed into him, but before he hit the ground, Vesha touched his back. The bond surged. Cole's body reacted before his mind could catch up. He grabbed the attacker mid-air, slamming them into the wall with inhuman strength. His reflexes, faster than any human, should have matched theirs perfectly. "Not bad," he grinned. "Let's see what else this bond can do." Another sibling came at him with razor-sharp claws, but Vesha moved first, her body glowing brighter. She intercepted, their limbs clashing in bursts of energy. For the first time, Vesha wasn't running or hiding, she was fighting, with power she never knew she had. The third sibling tried to strike Cole, but something snapped inside him. Surge of energy, a second pulse in his chest. His eyes flashed for a moment, violet like Vesha's. He caught the attack and twisted, knocking the sibling unconscious. "Whoa," Cole muttered. "Didn't know I could do that." Vesha smiled. Breathlessly. "Neither did I. The bond is waking up. Faster than I thought." The siblings lay defeated, groaning on the ground. But the ship shook again. The prime slaver himself was coming. Heavy footsteps echoed through the halls, metal groaning under his weight. Vesha looked at Cole, her eyes steady. "If we fight him together, we might survive." Cole grinned, lifting his rifle. "Together sounds good to me." The doors blasted open, and there he was. The prime slaver, towering and armored, his red eyes burning with hate. "You were made to serve, girl. Return to your place." But Vesha stood tall, Cole at her side. "I have a place," she said firmly. "Right here." The final fight was about to begin, and neither of them was backing down. The prime slaver stood in the ruined corridor of Cole's ship, his towering frame framed by smoke and flickering lights. His armor was scarred from countless battles, his red eyes glowing like coals in the dark. His voice was deep, like a slow, grinding machine. You're delaying the inevitable, girl. You are mine. You'll always be mine. Vaish's pulse pounded in her ears, but she didn't flinch. She stood shoulder to shoulder with Cole, her violet eyes glowing bright with the energy of the bond between them. For the first time in her life, she didn't feel small. She didn't feel weak. You're wrong, she said, her voice steady. I'm not yours. I'm not anyone's weapon anymore. The prime slaver stepped forward, heavy boots shaking. The floor. Then you will die with your pet human. Without warning, he charged. Cole fired his rifle, but the slaver's armor absorbed the blasts. The giant alien swung a massive fist at Cole, who barely dodged his enhanced reflexes, saving him just in time. Vaisha moved faster than thought, her body shimmering with energy. She struck the prime slaver's side, but he barely staggered. He grabbed her by the arm and threw her across the corridor like she weighed nothing. Cole's heart raced. The bond flared alive. He could feel her pain, her panic, her determination. And something inside him snapped. You don't get to touch her. Cole roared. In that instant, the bond between them fully awakened. A surge of alien energy flooded Cole's body. His muscles burned, his senses sharpened beyond anything human. His eyes flared violet, glowing like Vaish's. The prime slaver paused, confused. He had heard of the bond's awakening, but he had never seen it complete. Impossible, the slaver growled. You're just human. But Cole was more than human now. He launched at the slaver, moving with speed that blurred. His punches hit like hammers, each one denting the thick armor. Vaisha recovered, joining the fight, her strikes glowing with every hit. Together, they attacked not two fighters, but one force. Every time Cole struck, Vaisha followed, their movements synchronized like they shared the same mind. The prime slaver faltered, bleeding, his armor cracking. He tried to grab them, but Vaisha slipped past him, her hand glowing with pure energy. She slammed it against his chest. This is for every cage you locked me in, she shouted. The energy blasted through his body, and Cole struck the final blow, his fist crashing into the slaver's helmet, shattering it completely. The prime slaver collapsed, his red eyes dimming as he gasped. You were supposed to be mine. Then he was still. Silence filled the corridor. Cole stood there, breathing heavily, his body still glowing faintly. Vaisha touched his arm, her eyes wide. You did it, she whispered. Cole chuckled. We did it. They stood there for a moment, catching their breath, the bond between them humming steadily, not a burden, but something alive and steady. Vaisha looked up at him, her voice soft. You've changed, Cole. You're not just human anymore. Cole smiled. Neither are you. Just a weapon. Together, they looked at the wreckage, the defeated siblings, the dead slaver. But they both knew this wasn't the end. What now? Vaisha asked. Cole shrugged. We keep moving. Find others like you. Free them. Maybe. Make a life out of this bond. Vaisha smiled for real, the first real smile she had shown in years. I'd like that. Cole extended his hand. Partners? She took it without hesitation. Partners. As the ship's engines roared back to life, the stars ahead seemed brighter. They weren't running anymore. They were building something new. Together, human and alien bonded by fate, strengthened by choice. And the universe would never see them coming.